Now it's all in play. Glory's call in the all-star fray. 12 dreams clash. It's the league showcase. Glory's chase. Feel the ground shake. You stand tall. Never fear the climb. All for one. And it's game time. In the stands, hear the roaring crowds. Wearing colors, we're standing proud. 12 teams fight under the spotlight's rays. Glory's night in the all-star blaze. Sweat and toil on this hallowed turf. One will rise.
Good evening, All-Stars. How are we doing? Hope you're well. Happy Sunday. Evening to Jens, evening to Steve, evening to Dims, evening to Scotty and Roberto. Early request for Jens to go first. I was just going to go with the lottery, but welcome to the All-Stars game week number 15, 16. Yeah, so formally 15, but we've got the cup in there as well. Fixtures tonight are that we have Drivetrain against Domingos. It's an all-conference affair tonight. So we've got Drivetrain against Domingos in the east, Memphis Rains against the Vikings in the east, Alcatraz and El Loco in the central, Pelham against Dandies in the central, Des Moines against the Steam Pigs in the west, and Short Pump Sloths against the Gators in the west. It would be worthwhile just having a little bit of a look at the tables, with it being an all-conference affair tonight. Eastern Conference, which continues to be probably the most challenging conference out of the three. Memphis Rains on 30, but Drivetrain and Domingo both on 28. And somehow the Vikings find themselves on 24 points, but in fourth due to the strength of the conference. In at the Central, well, it really is a one-story team in the Central Conference, and that is Pelham, who are running away with it here. If they were to beat the Dandies tonight, they could be 14 points, so more than a point a game advantage at this stage of the season. And the Alcatraz and the El Loco Fire chasing Dandies in second there as well. Over in the Western, we have the Steam Pigs, who are top on 24. So again, notice that points from the Vikings, 24 points. They would be joint top with the Steam Pigs in this division. And Des Moines, Short Pump and Gators, probably the teams that are the most volatile at the moment, given that 2 out of the 3 have a new manager. And the fourth in Dan just really has struggled for quite a prolonged period of time. For some form, good to see Alex in the chat tonight. Alex, my man, how we doing, bud? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. I saw Steve Wright giving you some compliments on your quiff there on the old Twitter. Good evening, Tato, mate. Hope you're well. An Everton-free weekend will probably mean you have had a good weekend, lad. We go over to the Vikings, who have been very busy in the transfer market. New faces of Yeremies, Ferguson, Aymar, Sigalko, Okoronkwo all come in as Darren drops in the chat. Good evening, Darren, mate. Hope you're well. And the Vikings are on a decent little run of form. That 3-0 defeat against the Bisons, a bit of a blip on the copybook. They placed their rivals, who are by far and away the best team in the competition this season, I would say. And this is how they go. The familiar 2-5-2-1 with Anthony Rowell and Vieri up top, and that block of DMCs, including Charlie Chaos, in there at DMC. Evening, Dan, mate. How you doing, bud? And we will kick off with what should be a bit of a slobber knocker, to be fair. 2 really good sides, both in the same conference. Vikings with an opportunity to catch up to Drivetrain and Bisons and the Memphis Rains. But Solis has held that up for now, as the Memphis Rains go 1-0 up, 2 bookings inside the first 25 minutes. Free kick to Vikings, and there is Maxim. That's why you bring him in, because he buries chances when they come to him. Another yellow card, 3 yellow cards in the first 32 minutes. Aymar's clattered to the floor. Another free kick for Vikings. Here come the Memphis Rains again. Solis again with his second chance of the half. Estevez now, who's becoming a little bit of a cult hero for Vikings and Jens. And we get to half time, and what a brilliant first half that was. Match stats fairly balanced. Memphis Rains getting more of their shots on target, but again, 3 yellow cards inside the first half an hour kind of summed up that it was a bit of a dogfight in there. Charlie Chaos on 8 and Solis on an 8. Interestingly, it looked as though he had a second shot, but it hasn't registered for whatever reason. Over at the Vikings, 7s and 6s, pretty average, but they are level with the best team in the league at the minute. Jens Jeremy's picking up a token yellow card on his full debut in the league, and Michelini, not to be outdone by him, is also joining him. Question for Jens here: they didn't look too bad at all, really. But you've probably not got anything on the bench that is better than what the first 11 is, and it's an as is from Jens, and we haven't seen rocks, so we will go to 60 minutes. Aimar there again, his name involved. Sigalgo wins a corner. And there is Raul, who's injured on 56 minutes. Raul, who has been decent for Memphis Reigns. But again, he's one of those players that probably doesn't pop up as much as he should. But I know a certain former Super League chairman used to just say he makes things happen, even though he doesn't appear. In the absence of rocks, we are going to go with... we're going to have to go with Valtellina, I think. And I'll just give it a couple of seconds in case rocks does drop in. And we'll go with Valtellina to not disrupt things too much. We're nearly at 60, so if rocks suddenly pops up, we will do something about it. Estevez gets knocked down. Who's going to get the second goal? Michelini on a debut now. Full league debut has dropped down to a 5. Jens Jeremy's on a 6. Is that an indication as to how busy those Memphis Reigns AMCs have been keeping them? Yes, I totally agree, mate. Raul should be far better for the stats that he has, but he's just never really ever done it massively. There's rocks in case he pops up. Adolfo Michelini, hooking him on a 5 and a booking. Recipe for a red card, some would say. And we will just give rocks a couple of seconds in case he does pop up. I mean, 19s and 20s all over the shop. He should be miles better than he is. Well, he did have a really good season by his standards for the Bisons in season 2 or season 1.5. And we will go to the end as there is Anthony. Again, yet another rocks shout that none of us would have ever been playing. But that's his second goal in 2 games. One, of course, came in the Cup as the Memphis Reigns look to stretch their lead even further and put pressure on the rest of the Eastern Conference sides. But Barry Ferguson gets the equaliser literally with the last kick of the game in normal time. Vikings probably deserve that as we roll into extra time golden goal. Jeremy's again still on his booking and he's 6, hasn't been able to shift that. But yeah, the standout of the bunch has been Javier Zanetti on that right-hand side. Yeah, exactly. Tato, Anthony again. Who the fuck is he? Mark Anthony, Et Brute. There's some sort of Shakespeare reference to be had in there. Looks absolutely gash, but Rocks knows what he's doing. And we'll wait for Jens to say what he wants to do. Steve saying it's a good game. He's probably forgotten that it goes to extra time in his rage with the bus driver yesterday. As Jens just makes the one change. Dari Hussein for Estevez, and that, of course, is the only opportunity the managers will get to make changes in the extra time period. Yeah, exactly. Intrinsic. Reeks of it, doesn't it? 97 minutes played. Casillas with a big save. It feels like Vikings are going to go on and win this. Aimar could have done it. Of course, he's a former Memphis Reigns player. And they get to half time and extra time. Vikings have really kicked on in that extra time. And we'll see if they can... we'll see if he can win it. But it would be typical of Memphis Rangers season if they were to win it. As Casillas on his is that his full debut? Yeah, on his full debut in the league, going off injured. That'll not be what Jens wants to see. As we race to 130 minutes played. Vieri now, is he going to win it? He puts it over the bar. Have the Vikings got anything in response? No, they haven't. A really good draw, that a really good entertaining Desmond, a bit of a dogfight from both sets of teams. Vikings still not quite settling with these new players, and I think Jens will be happy to take that and run, given it was a Barry Ferguson 90th minute goal. And look at those ratings from the Memphis Reigns. Really solid, continuously solid, and really left field players keep doing it for Roxy. We go over to Darren against Kitchen Dan, the Short Pump Sloths. This is how they look. Nicky Butt is still suspended, and Zidane drops to the bench despite his 10 and goal. Del Piero come into to that EM RC, that EM central on the right, with Beckham and Ljungberg on the wings. Let me just check that I have got those right wingers. Darren, if you're in there, mate, just nudge that that's right. I don't want to get the team selection wrong. Ljungberg, Rui Costa, Del Piero, Salas, Dyer, Makelele, Ambrosini. Makelele and Ambrosini in the wrong place. I knew something didn't stand up right. Gamara, Stam, and Khan, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, lovely. Cheers, Darren. I picked that up when I looked at it at a glance. Excellent. And they will play the Blackwater Gators, who are struggling, as we've seen, but do go with the tried and tested 3 DMC kind of meta formation, although 2 MCs. So we've got two teams playing exactly the same footprint of formation here as we get underway. Gators, of course, did knock the Dandies out in the 3rd round of the Cup. The brilliant penalty shootout performance from Marcos, their keeper. And Rob Sloth there cheering on the Gators against his former club. Dyer with a half a chance driven in low, put wide. Elbert with a chance put wide. This is who's that sent off? That is Jaap Stam. Jaap Stam has absolutely lost his head. And the Short Pump Sloth's boss has got a decision to make on 43 minutes as to what he does. Dan, if you just let me know if you all want to make a change. We're nearly at half time anyway. I'm assuming you won't, but if you could just confirm, it just speeds things along. Darren, just so you're aware, in terms of, yeah, lovely. Okay, so you can't do anything you want in terms of a red card. Okay, there we go. Just a straight swap as we roll to half time. Interesting to see in the commentary what that's for. And the Gators now with a real chance to pick up 3 points. Something that has been a bit of a rarity for them this season as we get to half time. Yeah, so Elbert does Stam. Stam doesn't like it and pushed him. He was the last man. As the Gators have been the better side in terms of stats, but not as clinical as the Sloths with a 50% hit rate. Over at the Sloths who are against it now. Salas doing an 8. Nothing really significant standing out across the rest of the team. Ayala coming in and being lightly involved, given it was 43, 44 minutes that he did. A 5 for Elbert, a bit harsh, given that he was through on goal until Stam smashed him. Yeah, Pinto for Larson. And we have Dan going for it here. Oh, hang on. Cancel all changes, yes. Gators for Henrik Larsson, not the other one. Sorry, Dan, you probably had kittens there when you see me do that. That was Amoroso, Ador territory, that. Yao Pinto for Henrik Larsson. Brilliant. And Darren says carry on until 60. Just a reminder of how they look with the 10 men. And we will roll to 60 minutes. Can Yao Pinto be the difference maker in what has been a hotly contested game? Second tight game of the night here. But the Gators do look as though they were just turning the screw a little bit there, even though they were a man down. Beckham getting involved and Salas having half a chance. Agahawa on a 6. Elbert has now turned his 5 into a 6. Nothing to worry about in terms of conditioning. Maybe Donny on that left-hand side just struggling a little bit, but not much in the way of options there. Potentially Agahawa going over at the left, or Malevsky going in there. Options there for Kitchen Dan. Over at the Sloths, who do look the better in terms of the match ratings. Is this a time for Zidane to come on for one of those AMCs and continue what has been a good little run of form over the last couple of game weeks? We shall see. Nothing to worry about conditions-wise for Darren. Owen for Salas. Salas was just starting to get himself involved. Aga up to 3rd AMC. I'm going to put Agahawa central, Dan, if you've got any preference there. I'm going to take your hours off Mendieta. Just let me know if you've got any preference there. I am guessing that'll be Brugink in the hole and Agahawa on the right of the AMCs, but just let me know, bud. spot on, perfect, lovely. And we will roll to 60 minutes. Are we going to have another golden as Darren comes in there? I'm just going to do that. I've just seen your chat come through there, mate. So there we go. As we get to 69 minutes, as the Sloths would be on for a 2 from 2 under the new manager if they were to win here. Feels very red and yellow heavy. Del Piero with a chance now. Hoffland having to do bits to keep his manager alive. Can the Gators land a sucker punch when they've been awful in the second half? Milevski into the book. Owen puts it wide. Agahawa Brugging, and there is Elbert. Has to be the winning goal on the 90th minute. It felt very, very ominous that short pumps loss were not putting away their chances. And Elbert, the man who was on a 5 at half time, with only the second shot on target of the game, gets an absolutely massive win within the context of the Gators this season, as Darren and the Sloths get their first loss. And it's been a long, long time since Dan has came away from a game being the worst team, but actually winning. And I don't think anybody in the league, probably with the exception of Darren, would begrudge him that, given the fact that he's grafted for so long with a team that's underperforming. But on that season's twist, unlucky Darren, mate, welcome to the All-Stars. You felt your first sucker punch. And well done, Kitchen Dan, mate. Nobody's going to begrudge you that. It's a victory that you probably deserve because of your effort over the last couple of game weeks. Over at Alcatraz against the Samba Boys of El Loco, Alcatraz go as is with a really solid performance in the cup. And Steer's already asking after Stam. El Loco Fire go like this. Still a couple of deals to just get over the line based on some rivalry issues with contracts and stuff. As they go to Samba Soccer 4-1-3-1-1. Scotty, if you're about, mate, I'll just give you a couple of seconds just to confirm, because I know you obviously have changed it up a fair bit over the last couple of weeks. So I just want to make sure with these new tactic files that I'm not getting anything wrong, mate. So if you can just let me know, that'd be grand. All good, fantastic. As it is the Samba Boys against the San Francisco Stunners, San Francisco Alcatraz. I don't know what we will say. Brozic with a drive. It's a penalty. And Mendes de Silva. Andre again. Did Andre have heroics in the cup, I believe, as he again does it for and there is Alex with a goal. Obviously, 2 Alexes in this squad. Alex AM FLC and Alex AM LC. It was really, really difficult to make sure that I had the right one, but the right one's been played because the right one scored. As El Loco Fire look to kick on for a second here in this All Central Conference clash. Vita Bayer with a big save. Mourinho handballs are just on the verge of half time. A really end-to-end match there. And Igor Bishkan on a 5 for Alcatraz. Over at the El Loco Fire, both centre halves in the book, but they're not mine because they're on an 8. And Kaka is on a 6 as the weakest link of those 3 AMCs. Doesn't look as though either team has kept much of the ball for long. And yeah, El Loco Fire just really, that save from Andre plus that goal from Alex has put them 1-0 up at half time. It's a roll from Scotty, so we will roll to 60 minutes. 50 minutes, 54 now. Vita Bayer again with a big save, 55 minutes played. You feel as though a second goal is incoming for El Loco. 62 minutes played. As we go over to El Loco, 8s and 7s, 3 bookings. Giovanni now joins the 2 centre halves into the book with Marcelinho Carioca into 77% fitness as that DMR. Definite options for Scotty on the bench there with the other Alex and Edmundo, and also Ricardinho, who was for a brief time under Greavesy really, really effective in Locomotive Boston's team in the Super League. And there's a shout, a blast from the past for those of you that were about for that. Seems like a lifetime ago, that. Even though realistic, it was probably only, 2 years ago. Kaká for Ricardinho. A junior for Marcelinho. And that's it. Okay. Just some fresh legs into the midfield to try and shut the game out for Alcatraz, for El Loco Fire rather. Are we going to see Alcatraz headed off the line. On there is Candaya. Are we going again to another late stage game? Inzaghi with a chance to win it. Scotty, again, a bit like Kitchen Dan, is a side that hasn't really clicked massively over the last 2 seasons. We do go to extra time, and a Local Fire have been on top, but a bit more resistance from the Alcatraz boys into the extra time. As Tato does a 360 on his opinion. Scotty, we'll see what you want to do there. Giovanni on 77, Serginho on 75. I'll just have a quick look at the message from Hopkins. And we go back over to Scotty. Edmundo for Giovanni. 2 up top. And an arrow on Emerson. Scotty wanting to get this done. Remember, it's the last change in this extra time period. And we'll see who can win it. I think that was Inzaghi again, coming off the... And it is Zambrotta. And the Alcatraz missing a penalty and looked out of it for a long period of that game. The Local Fire are really going to regret not getting that second goal, having looked the better side for the best part of 60-odd minutes. And it's, again, a precious win for the Alcatraz. Gianluca Zambrotta with the winner. And Scotty Samba boys clicking, but not clicking across the course of the full 90 and a bit minutes. Unlucky Scott. Well played, Hopkins. Over to the Steam Pigs versus Des Moines. Steam Pigs go to this formation that Steve ran with, if I remember rightly, under his White Rose days, but didn't really pursue it with, even though he was doing really, really well. Steve, again, just with all the changes in personnel and the changes in new tactics. If you can just have a look at that, my man, and just let me know that you're cush with that. Rob asking for Crespo, despite the fact that he's only just signed for Steve. If you just let me know, Steve, that's all good, my man. If I remember that this formation did do some damage with Dudley. Had some good results with it, but just didn't really pursue it long term. The same with Rob and his Des Moines side. Rob, the only change he made was Seedorf in for yeah, exactly, yeah, for Seedorf in for Alan Smith. As we kick off and go underway. Des Moines Demons really needing to put together a little bit of form. Steam Pigs solid, if a little inconsistent. Big chance for them both to make a statement, given some of the other results here tonight in the context of the overall league table. And there is Roy Mackay on his debut, scores for the Steam Pigs, but then Van Nistelrooy hits back really early doors. And there is Crespo. What a game this is. 2-1 at half time. Des Moines with only 1 shot on target, and the Steam Pigs go into the half 2-1 up. 6s for Buffon and Vialli, but the rest is absolutely solid, as Rob Sloth does an early roll. We'll just show him where he's at anyway. Shevchenko, Van Nistelrooy, trying to get amongst it. And we'll just wait and see what Steve wants to do. And Steve confirms that he'll roll. As we get to 51 minutes, have the Des Moines got another shot in them to get up to 2-2. 55 minutes now played. Shevchenko and Said puts it wide. 63 minutes played. Yepes, Bauma. Des Moines have just came to life there in the last few minutes or so. You'd think that a 2 up top is imminent, maybe, with Alan Smith. Romoshenko again is there, as well as that versatile DMFC. Over to the Steam Pigs. Vialli on his 6. Everybody else on 7s and 8s. Conditions-wise, nothing really to stress about. And Koviak on an 83, the lowest. As Rob Sloth does do what is now a deep tradition of his. Seedorf for Smith, 3 up top, Little Arrow on Walker. I love it, Rob. Class. And we'll see what Steve Wright wants to do. Potentially Stevie Finnan coming in here on the right-hand side, maybe. And Steve says, no, I'll go to the end. Are we going to get another bit of late drama in the third game of the evening? Steam Pigs, if they were to get another goal, would kill it. And there is Roy Mackay in the AMC, who has put this game to bed unless there is an absolute miracle. 5 minutes added on Steam Pigs home and dry now, 3-1, and they do see the game out. Man of the match performance, surely, from Steam Pigs against an impotent Des Moines Demons. It's Tomasi in the man of the match performance after a few comments about his deal. Steam Pigs are indeed looking good. Decent ratings for Des Moines, but just not clicking up top as the 5 across the midfield controlled things for Steve. We go over to the drivetrain against the Domingos Bisons. Savage going completely as is since last time out, and he's probably the least active manager in the transfer market over the last couple of weeks. Tato, you messaged me about your change sub. I was in the bath. I confirmed it. Let me just... Sava promoted to the bench. Why have I only got... Oh, yeah. So this is because you only named 4 subs for the cup, and then I didn't put one on, Tato. So you've got a 5th sub, basically. What have you got there? Lyth, Rossini, Nick Matillan, Sava. Maybe a midfielder. Petit, potentially. Or Lee Young Pure, maybe. Let me know who you want. No, we're getting an absolute pumping. Oh, yeah, they're getting spanked, aren't they? Wow. Anyway, I'm putting a doll for one, Tato. You took far too long. Sorry, mate. As we go to 45. Again, 2 of the real strong sides in the All-Stars, these 2. Could go absolutely either way. And who is that sent off? It's Uliano, who is sent off for Savage. Cheers, mate. Cheers, Tato. Appreciate it, bud. Savage, if you let me know what you want to do there, bud. An early as is from Tato is appreciated. Nestalone DC. Gerard back to DMC. Scally Central, I'm guessing there, Sav. Lovely. And we will roll and see if Bisons can be the second team of the night to take advantage of the 10 men, or the man advantage. 27 minutes played now. And we get to half time with very little being offered from both sides. Despite the man advantage, Bison's created absolutely nothing in the first half, and you'll expect there to be some changes coming in from Tato there. 6s and 7s and 8s from the drivetrain. And it is the attacking players in Riquelme, Jacques and Impenza who have struggled to offer anything really for the Bisons. As we get to the worst half of tonight, as is from Savage's early. Jacques for Sava, who Tato was talking up in the WhatsApps just before we went live. 46 minutes played. Driven low by Giggs. Bison's getting their first shot on target of the night. Does feel a little bit more Bison's heavy. As drivetrain probably should have scored based on the comms. I didn't pick up who that was. It was maybe Saviola. Didn't take his chance, and it remains 0-0. Over at the Bisons, and Impenza and Riquelme still on a 6, but Sol Campbell doing bits at the back. The great thing about this formation is that you don't really need all 3 to turn up. You just need one to have a stormer. But at the minute, Robin is the best of the bunch. Extend the winger hours. Bring on Rossini for Impenza. And we'll go to the drivetrain. And you'd imagine that if it was real life, Rossini would be sitting there looking at Impenza starting ahead of him and thinking, I'm the top boy of Bisons, I've done it for him, I've won him a title, and Impenza comes in and walks straight into the first 11. And now is it written for Rossini to come in and win it for him? As we wait to see what Savage wants to do. Saviola for Amoroso. Bring Del Vecchio back to AMC. And Henri back to AMC. And done. As we will roll until the end. And it is Rossini. There he is. There's the boy we said. He's sat and he's watched him Penza stink the place out for the best part of 60 odd minutes. And Rossini comes on and probably with his first touch of the game, potentially gets the winner unless Drivetrain have got anything back. Van Bommel goes into the book. Maravicchia now, Giannichetta going forward. Valkarin into the book. Giggs has a dip. Barthez keeps it out. Offside. End-to-end stuff this now. Drivetrain chucking everything they can at the Bisons. 85 minutes gone and they equalise. One apiece. 88 minutes played now. Has Rossini got another one in him? Robin has a chance cleared off the line. Safa with a great shout. Giggs, Barthez now. Drivetrain wall at the back. Can they do it? It goes to another round of extra time in what was a really entertaining second half after an absolute shit show of the first half. Nesta 10, look at that, dominant at the back. Holding back the flood, one at the back. And over to the Bisons, lots of bookings. But again, you probably think Tato's going to regret not taking the 3 points here, given how long the Drivetrain have played with 10. Great second half after a really piss poor first half. Fair play to both managers. We'll see what each of them wants to do. Just wait on Savage changes this, and then we roll. Lovely. As he goes as is, and we will go to the bitter end. We'll see who can get the golden goal. Raquelme had a chance to overturn his 6 there, but didn't get the goal. And there is Ian Robin, probably the man in the league who has scored the most extra time winners, who wins the game for the Bisons. 2-1 winners, Alessandro Nesta. That is an unbelievable performance, probably one of the best we've ever seen from anybody in the All-Stars, but does find himself on the losing side. Over to our last game of the night. It is the much changed Dandies against the solid and consistent Pelham Pumas, who go back to their recognised kind of first 11, with Cole and Exeteria on the wing and Ronaldinho and Scholes looking like a really dangerous triangle at the front. As we kick off into 7 minutes, Constantino starts over Kluivert, and it is Archie back who scores and puts the Dandies 1-0 up. Block off the line for the Dandies as Pelham now turn the screw. Bit more pressure from Pelham coming here. Ronaldinho with a chance, and there is Montella. He has scored so many goals against the Dandies over the last kind of 2 seasons or so, and does so again tonight. Gattuso playing in that DMC position, and there is Montella who puts it wide. 1 each at half time. Dandy started strong, but then Pelham really did kick on. Not a booking to note, and 6s for Westerveld, Hupia, and Ronaldinho. But other than that, looking really, really good. Over at the Dandies, yeah, again, another mix of 6s and 7s, pretty average from both. We will make a change, and we will put Kluivert on at half time. As Dims goes as is as well. Did feel like, there we go, Cole's crosses cause havoc, and it is Montella with a brace. Pretty sure they will be burning effigies of Gattuso on a 5. Let's do that on 60, and we'll go over to Dims. They'll be burning effigies of Montella given the amount of goals he scored against the Dandies over the last couple of seasons. And we'll see what Dims wants to do. Joey Cole, I think, with 2 assists tonight. No, just the 1. And Exeteria, both wingers doing the business. No changes for Dims. He's firmly in control of this game. Will we go to a little bit more late drama? No, we won't. because Joe Cole again whips another ball in, and it is Vogel who is on the end of it to put it. And there is Ronald. Is that Ronaldinho who's got a goal? Potentially, I think. As Pelham are absolutely dominant in this Central Conference, Alcatraz, Dandies, and our local Fire cannot lay a glove on them, and the conference looks to be sewed up already as they run out 4-1 winners, dominant, and what a team! 2 assists. Montella central to everything, and Vogel in there with a goal as well. Well played, Dims. Yes, Savage, I've seen your comment about the save, mate. I'm happy to pass the save over to you if you want to process the outstanding deals and the little bits of admin, because I'm not going to get a chance to do that tonight, mate. So it's entirely up to you. If you want the save and you want to do the outstanding admin, then that's doable, bud. Just let me know. Over the classifieds, St. Domingos Bisons won with an Iron Robin goal in extra time. Memphis Rains 2, Vikings 2, Alcatraz 2-1 against their local Fire. Pelham against the Dandies 4-1. Performance of the night, that from Pelham. Des Moines against the Steam Pigs 3-1. And Short Pump losing 1-0 against the Gators with a much needed win at the Gators. Memphis Rains and the Bisons are steaming out on 31 points ahead in the Central, 14-point gap. Dandies 4 ahead of Alcatraz and 8 ahead of our local Fire. And then Steam Pigs Des Moines on 27 and 18 respectively. It looks to be all of the conferences really look to be more or less sewn up, apart from the Eastern. And it'll be just a case of whether the Memphis Rains can shake the Bisons. Both look really solid. So, boys, it'll probably be tomorrow that the save gets uploaded, unless anybody wants to take the admin in terms of the deals, because I'll not get a chance to do them tonight. Cheers for tuning in, and up the All-Stars. Have a great week, boys.